Here we are, live at the 7 a.m. hour, here to party sports with your host, Hunt the Sheriff.
What's up, baby?
What's up?
Do you like the camera? It's obviously dark in here, but how do you feel about it?
I would say that based upon a scale from last time we rated this to this time, I can actually see your face today, and it's not washed out.
Now, here's something that I really want to make an announcement about, and I don't know if you're ready for all of this just yet.
Hit me.
We got Starlink, so now I have literally the most powerful internet on the planet. We have no more issues.
You can freaking launch rocket ships out
basically
out on the porch.
I basically own a spaceship now. You know what's interesting? This hat is washing out my eyebrows. So let's see if that helps at all. It's a little bit better.
Someone told me a story about the one time that you had your eyebrows darkened. Do you want to go down that path again?
No, I don't know if I want to. Now, here's something I want to address. Now, George is supposed to be part of this podcast right now. The thing I've recognized after being friends with George for 3 years now is that George does not ever show up on time.
You don't care about time.
If you know that you have to start something at 7, George will start pooping, drinking coffee, and doing other weird priorities of his around 6:57, which you noticed he got up just before things were going, and now you can hear him like smashing around in the background. Everything that we were attempting to try to get done this entire week has been held up because of George's inability to handle his poop problems.
What are you talking about, bro? No poop problems.
If Cole was here, he'd corroborate my story, but Cole also has his own weird problems.
Dude, you got your own problems.
George has also been wearing that Represent Gator shirt for 5 days straight.
12 hours.
5 days straight. How do you guys feel about trash talking people on the internet?
Feel pretty good about it.
Like, here's the question. Like, I don't go out of my way to bash people, but if someone bashes you, can you bash back?
100%.
Sure.
But I just feel like the world these days is so aggressive about this stuff. Like, they're like, they get like really emotional and upset if you do anything, especially if you're more of a public figure.
I think it sets you up. If you are going to talk back, it sets you up for potentially getting canceled real quick.
So here's an update. This woman today, Lynn Moo 75, she wrote, because I did my little flex post, she said, looks like your shoulders, where is it? They hid the comments, of course. Or did she already delete it? I think she did delete it. What a coward. She did delete it because I think I made fun of her back. She said, looks like your shoulders need some work. And I said, I could say the same about your face. And I drilled her because,
you went straight. She came in with like a 3 and Hannah comes over the top with like a 12. It's like,
you should see it. You should see her face. Wow, what a coward, dude. She deleted it. So people will shit on my posts all the time. All the time. And I just feel like I'm at the point where I'm an adult and I feel pretty comfortable about myself. I think it's important to just start, like, you know, when someone kid throws a snowball at you, he's like, ha ha ha. You load up like a snowball 5 times the size and you pelt that bastard.
With ice.
Yeah, dude. The internet's ruthless.
Boom roasted.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it, but George throws a lot of shade at my stuff on the internet.
Yeah. No, I don't throw that much shade. It's playful banter.
So, George, this is now your, what do you think, like 3rd or 4th training camp coming to the United States?
I think it's 3rd. Yeah. I mean, the weather has not impressed me this time. This is the first time I've seen rain like this out here. So that's kind of sad, but training camp's been fun. Cole Daddy was only around for like 48 hours because his dog got sick.
Oh. No, I don't think the dog got sick, by the way.
Yeah.
I think Cole is sick in the head. Yeah, Cole has been our friend for years, and now he's officially married. And the past 2 training camps that Cole's been here, he has to go home early because there's an issue. Cole only gets to leave the house for 48 hours because his captor doesn't allow him to leave.
There may be a
I
small
don't know the
element of
situation,
truth
so I
there.
can't comment.
I think it's Stockholm syndrome. He is being held captive, and he is now fallen in love with his captor, and he
I did
doesn't
see him
know.
blink a couple of times, like asking for help when he was on the phone. I didn't pick up the signals in time.
Did he do one of these when you guys were talking on FaceTime?
Yeah. Damn. That's a signal.
Guys, I just want everyone to know that there's a woman watching. Okay, guys, we don't have a lot of female guests, so everybody act cool.
Hello,
Dina-
Dean.
Dina Martinez. It's all usually dudes in here, so I want everyone to act cool. All right, guys, sit up a little bit
Act like
taller.
we've been
Let's
here
talk a little bit
before.
more proper. Yep. What's going
We've
on?
trained for this.
This is not my first podcast. Let's
Hmm.
go. Let's go. There's so many things I want to talk about, and you can add to the notes. I have training runs, weight, George's poop problems. What the fuck did I write there?
Writing down notes while sleepwalking again.
Yeah, dude, I feel like an idiot, dude. Well, one of the things, do you guys think Alex is gonna die because he's trying to do all
He
this
just
running?
went out. He was at 30,000 steps, and I just saw an update. He went to 96,000.
In a day?
I think it was over a weekend. But yeah, I mean, it was coming up on the final day. It was Sunday, so he was at 30 or 40. If we look back through his stories, he hit 96.
Yeah. Dude,
Hmm.
I think I question whether or not Alex is going to kill himself in the process of this, because he almost killed himself in the process of beating you in the weight loss challenge,
Yeah.
and he didn't lose any weight. He just killed himself. I would say there was like a 1 to 3% transformation where you had this like drastic transformation.
Yeah.
Alex, on the other hand, just beat his knees to death. Like, running a marathon, he doesn't even do it on trails. He's doing a marathon in the mountains on those hard pavement roads with like zero training or preparation.
Well,
Plus,
okay, so he signed up on a whim to run the Kodiak 100, but that's not until October. The way he was explaining it and he was talking to me about it, I thought it was like next month. He's like, no, it's not till October. So he is really ramped up.
Yeah,
his
but Alex
training.
isn't going to do anything with like periodization or anything. He's just going to go out and hit random miles at random hours, wearing all kind of crazy stuff. So it might as well be this weekend the way he's training. A lot of people get injured on the way to the 100-mile start line rather than the actual race.
Well, I just wrote George. George Heaton, the guy who owns Represent.
Yeah.
He I don't know if you see his posts. Like, I'll show you this dude. The dude is absolutely shredded. He's got to be down to like 5 to 6% body fat.
On Insta?
Yeah, I'll try to see if I can show you what he looks like on Instagram. He's freaking ripped right now. You have to go to his stories, so I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up. But I basically contacted him. I was like, dude, how are you doing? Like, you're pushing really hard. Like, look at that, dude. Look how lean he is. I don't know if you can see in the camera, but like you can see the veins and like the skin like is like literally holding on for dear life. The dude is so ripped right now. And he's been putting in all these big miles, and homie like literally is going to eat himself away. Yeah, right there. Look at that, dude. Look at that body.
Pause.
I mean, he looks buff as shit, but like that's that level of leanness where you only have a couple days at that leanness or you start to fall apart. So I wrote him and I was like, dude, listen, like I'm going to send you over a couple of workouts and ways to get this thing done so you don't like eat yourself alive. And hopefully he's going to pick it up. But Alex is obviously not this lean, but he's kind of going to beat himself to death. Alex is probably like 75% body fat. And that's why he will be unstoppable in the ultra. But basically, like, I think if I could give Alex a suggestion, I would actually only tell Alex to go out once a week and then try to figure out how to make the rest of his week all built up to making sure that 1 day a week was really healthy.
Yeah.
But Alex is one of these kind of guys where I think he like goes out a bunch and he'll do this for like 6 days to 6 weeks, and then he'll completely pull out and stop doing it completely because he hurts himself.
Well, I know he's still battling a knee injury from a rollerblade incident
Yeah.
where his knees just swell.
He's got a bicycle.
Uh,
I don't know.
That'd be a good
We'll
number
see if
2
he'll survive.
option.
By the way, guys, I started counting my calories to weigh myself, and I got here 2 weeks ago, and I weighed in at 201, and now I'm 207 today. I don't know what the fuck is happening, but I'm actually going in reverse, and I've been doing really well. Like, you saw me yesterday counting all my calories while you guys were pigging out. I was very specific about my food, and I'm still gaining weight.
I didn't pick out all. I had a few chips and hummus. You had some cake, I believe.
I didn't have any cake.
You sure?
By the way, George, when he comes here, because I don't think he gets the kind of food that we do here in America, George buys like all the shittiest food, basically only chips and hummus, sweet food, and then he spends almost all of the time on the toilet.
I mean,
well, when you're introducing new food to your system, I got a question for George because I want to see how it ended up. How'd you like the biscuits and gravy from the Greasy Spoon type of restaurant?
I did not attempt to go down the biscuits and gravy route. I chickened out. I definitely have a phobia of certain foods in the United States. Yeah. You guys seem to cook everything in some sort of deep grease that my stomach does not enjoy. Hannah thinks I've got terrible bathroom problems. Actually, it's like my office. I'm just in there longer than anyone else, just like returning messages. You know, I take my time. You know, I like to feel relaxed. Hannah's like this 5-second shitter where he's like in and out. I don't know if he actually even sits down.
People that spend time in the bathroom are creepy. They're creepy. Yeah. I mean, I have really nice bathrooms here.
Depends where.
I have really nice bathrooms here.
If you're in if you're on the airplane bathroom for longer than 2 minutes, that's creepy.
That's my one, only life rule when it comes to pooping is I don't poop in airplanes.
Yeah.
Even if I owned a private jet, I would just be like,
not today.
Not gonna.
Nobody's doing it.
Not gonna do it, dude.
There's no seats, only urinals.
Yeah, but no, I'm 2 days away from getting home without any food problems. I'm safe in the Malibu Castle. I haven't got to deal with rats in the Crestline cabin, and there's no taco truck in sight. So I should be home free and easy at this point. I'm excited because normally this country or this training camps can do a number on me. Everybody has gotten sick. I'm sure you've heard the history of Crestline Cabin, Jake, Kyle, myself. Who else has been up there real sick?
Let's talk about the truth here. You guys can't handle the training volume, so then your butt just freaks out and you guys just shit yourself for weeks.
No, it's actually this has been the easiest training camp because I haven't been running.
Kenneth the Lap over here saying that you're a soy boy.
Me?
Is this true? Is this true?
Hey, Kenneth, let me see your abs and then I'll show you mine and then we'll have a conversation about soy.
Soy boy. Yeah, I think that's the thing that I've recognized about these training camps. Everyone comes here and tries to get on the schedule and they survive for the first couple days and then your brain doesn't want you to disconnect from the training, but your body does. So it just starts to just poo itself to death. Yeah, this is true.
I feel great. I actually sleep earlier and longer when I'm here than I do at home because obviously I'm not working. So we were in bed last night by 8:39 and I was wide awake at 6:15 a.m. this morning. And that's
George, you're not vegetarian, right? Soy's vegetarian. I think he was just giving a dig.
Yeah, he was trying to trash talk me, but sorry, I don't know you.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So, George, I want to get a real rundown. I want you to talk about what your experience has been at this training camp, how you feel about your own fitness, how you feel about Hunter McIntyre's fitness. What are some of the things you've noticed? Because I think you're one of the very few people that has made it out every single year. You've made it out to me for the past 3 years before championships. You first started coming out here before Vegas. You came out here before
double.
Manchester.
The first one was 2 weeks. 1 week with Cole, the second week with Tom Hogan. Then I came back for Vegas champs, and then we trained a little bit after, but then I came back again the following year. So yeah, this is the third time I think.
So
It's been different every time.
Anybody who doesn't know, George and I have been dating each other online for a bunch of years, just kind of shooting each other DMs back and forth. We actually met without really having a meeting through OCR about 8 years ago. I think it was 2016, wasn't it?
Yeah, I slowed you down in the woods. I was like, this
Total
bitch is
dick
not passing me. And I heard this like, it was like a horse grunting. And I was
You
like,
box him.
yeah, it was like single track, so it was real hard to pass. And then it eventually opened up and he just kicked right past me. And I was like, that's stupid. It goes downhill and then back up into like a horse, like a U, that goes straight down to a dip and then straight up a big kicking hill. And I was like, don't run down that because that hill's going to annihilate you. And then he was gone in like 30 seconds. And I was like, I wonder what happened to that guy. And then I saw him on the horizon, just like kicking over the next obstacle and the next obstacle. But, you know, I held my own for a couple of miles. No big deal.
I was not a soy boy like George, but George has like really good context on the evolution of like Hyrox and my training because he's been there at every single training camp. George is the only person I know has made it to every single season's training camp. And obviously we're a little bit early because like this time last year, because we're still in February, we weren't even really in like that much of Hyrox training. I had decided to start training for Hyrox 3 weeks earlier.
I just got the notification. It was the 1 year anniversary. You know how there's like the time hop on Facebook where it was the video and I reposted it, but you running up the trail out back and it was, hey, I was out, but now I'm coming back. So the best case scenario is you can hope for second place.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you made like your first official announcement like a week ago or so for coming back.
That's crazy, dude. Like we've literally, that feels so long ago.
No.
But okay, so let's talk about where you first saw us at training for Hyrox and some of the progressions that we were making and the styles that we were doing compared to now. Like, how do you give us some stories, George?
I think when we first started going into it, I noticed training with yourself, the volume was a lot higher. The overall capacity and engine work was a lot higher. And now, once you've, you know, especially yourself, you've reached a certain level. So now you've discovered that actually rest and power training works well, right? Because essentially Hyrox is a power endurance problem. So if you can kind of just rest more, but then create a higher power or more powerful engine, you're going to have the fitness to get round in 1 hour. Do you know what I mean? That's never going to be a problem. So I think you're discovering that you can create more output as long as you balance the rest of your lifestyle. Sometimes previously training camps, we've been kind of overtrained, which is good to do at certain stages. If you're going to overtrain, do it in a training camp, because then you kind of will adjust to that on your taper and when you rebuild again. But I've made mistakes over the years, like everybody, you know, training too much, too hard, doing too many simulations between races, or just packing a schedule and not understanding how tiring traveling is, and especially international travel. It's exhausting. So now we've come out here and I've done less running because I'm just protecting a calf injury to build it up slower. But I've done a lot more cycling, and, you know, I feel fitter on the ergs and stronger in some ways. And now I've just got to translate that into running. So myself, I actually feel in a pretty good space, kind of. I'm not sure when Cologne is, middle of April, I think. But yeah, I've noticed Hunter rests more, probably just creates more intense training sessions, but they're a lot shorter, you know, so which is healthy. You know, I think it's so easy to plateau when you're training for any of these mixed modality sports, because the brain immediately goes to like more is better. You know, how much volume can I pack into my week? How much can I like show that I'm willing to suffer? And that, like I said, that's real good initially, but sooner or later your body is just going to like pay you back, and it's not going to be kind. Especially for amateur athletes, they're going to struggle with balancing their immune system, because you're training 6 days a week doing this sport where you've never done so many burpees and lunges and wall balls, and you're just going to tank your system. Then if you travel, like I've got 2 clients that have been traveling, they're traveling for races this week, and they've both got like a little bit of flu or colds. And it's just because they've, you know, been training at such high volumes, but they haven't protected the rest of their lifestyle. You know, they've been getting on the tube, they've been
System goes down.
with clients, you know, like, you know, they're both sports masseuses. So you can't protect yourself. When you're in training camp, you just create this bubble, so we barely come into contact with anybody else. So, we're just training hard and then eating and sleeping and just doing it all over again. So that's why it's so important to build intensity and break plateaus. And I think with yourself, Hunter, to like notice the difference in your training this time is basically, like the shorter, more intense sessions. You're trying to create more speed and power. So the running interval session we did the other day in the mountains, or was it the 4x4 or the 8x4? I forget what we did. 4x8.
We did 8x4 on Monday. We did 4x8 on Monday, and then we just did 5x4 on Friday together.
And then with your coach, you're creating like max power movements, like 90% of your capacity, rather than sort of just drilling empty sets or like pump sessions. Like pump sessions, you're always going to look good, but you're actually going to just fatigue yourself more and more, and that's going to take away from tomorrow and later on in the week.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the discipline side of it and just getting smart with your body as you get older.
So, like, it's interesting. I posted about this. When you did that bike ride next to me, that was the fastest. That 5x4 is the fastest I've ever run in my entire career, and it was at 207 pounds, 205 pounds.
At altitude.
And I've never run like that before. I can honestly say so. And like, I'm wearing this Hyrox bracelet, not because I like Hyrox. I was disappointed in the way that I was running in Manchester. So I told myself I'm going to wear this thing every single day until I get where I want to be. And I'm going to beat myself to death. And the sessions are far more intense. And I'm spending, money and time with this new coach in a way that I haven't ever done before in my career. I'm kind of just letting go and showing up for the paperwork. And at first I was real anxious about it. I was like, I don't fucking like this. I don't like giving all this power to this guy. I don't know if I trust it. I don't know how I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And, basically it's working.
It's always like that when you start something new.
I used to do all my own programming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to trust the process initially. The first month is critical, because the first 2 weeks of anything new, you're going to feel like shit.
I'm wondering what your opinion is. Like, what's training like at 40? Because I would say the majority of our clients are in that range, like mid 30s to 40s. Like, what have you noticed from when you first started to where you're at now?
There's not that much different on training camp, because I've got the time and energy to stretch, warm up, cool down. You can really dial in as long as you have fewer distractions outside of training. When you're working full-time job, I've got a kid, you're running around commuting for work, you have to be more focused. So there's got to be a sacrifice in your lifestyle if you want to keep that same output, and it's not always possible, right? Life gets in the way. So I think just it takes me a little bit longer to recover if I miss a meal, or if I kind of don't get the right sleep. It's really noticeable, especially like strength sessions or kind of high intensity interval sessions. That's where you notice it the most, when you're pushing your body to like extremes. But I've got a pretty good supplementation stack, and I use my own training camps out in Spain for for my own training as well. And then coming out here, I managed to dial in. So I know that as long as I keep myself year round kind of fit, and always kind of like 8 weeks out, I always call it, then I can sort of manage to arrow in. If you kind of overtrain randomly throughout the year, you pick up more injuries, you don't recover as well. You psychologically, you don't feel in a good space because you haven't managed to focus in on an event. So it's not that there's much difference at 40 for myself, but I've always been quite fit. But you have to address niggles as soon as you get them. You can't think that that's just going to go away like it does when you're 20. You can't kind of out-train an injury. You have to go and get massage, sauna, cold plunge. You have to get sleep right. You have to kind of just dial in on all the little things, because that's the marginal gains that will really help you kind of stay at that level. Whereas when you're 25, it's like you can go out in the bar all night, party, you can fuck all night, and then wake up and go, right, weight session, let's do this, boys. And there's no big deal. And you're like, I'm superhuman. 40, you're like, do I want to drink 2 beers. No, I'm gonna drink half a beer and we go to bed early. You know, it's just that. It's the discipline. It's sad, but it's kind of good. It kind of makes you, I guess, a full-grown adult.
2 things I want to say. One, take your collar and roll it down. There you go.
Sound.
Yeah, every single time you move, that thing goes up against the collar. Yeah, it's interesting. Like the fittest dudes I actually ever like really go up against are in their late 30s and 40s. Like Hobie Call, Cody Moat, these dudes when they were just these monsters. You're just like, you're so old. And they're like, yeah, I do things a little bit differently nowadays, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, how are you such a tank? It's crazy. It's like they don't lose it. You just have to negotiate things differently. I negotiate things differently.
You know, like I'm very aware 3 or 4 days before getting sick of actually being sick. It's like you notice sand in the gears. You know, you just feel something's not quite off. So then you know how to hold back, or you kind of know when you're really recovered so you can throw down hard because you know your own body. And I think when you're late 20s, 30s, where you apparently should be at your peak, but you've probably, just because of, you know, lack of knowledge or you know, you're just getting into fitness like, 3 to 5 years earlier, then you've probably neglected mobility, because that's the unsexy stuff that nobody wants to do.
Mobility's lame. Shut up, George.
I mean, you know, I'm sure we've all got clients that, like, you know, can't squat properly and they're throwing this intensity down, and you're like, if you just take an extra half an hour a week.
Bye, George. How is it that my internet's perfect and his isn't? Because his has been lagging this whole time. We're in the same house. George, I don't think you're on the right internet, dude. I think you're on apartment A. Are you sure? See you, George.
He'll come back in.
Super weird, though. Like, you can hear me very clearly, correct?
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy. So last week, and I didn't even feel it that bad, I had my heaviest bench press set that I've ever done in my life and the fastest run set all on the same day. And we did.
What was the thing that you said you got 40 more pounds on? Was that a front squat? Was that bench press?
That was a front squat. That was a front squat earlier. The same time last year, I was like in the training cycle, I was able to do, I only did 265. I did 305.
Wow.
So everything's good. I wish I was lighter. I don't know why. Like, my body fat is low. Like, everything seems to be really good. I'm just like, what the fuck? We'll just keep on going on without George, because I had all these important questions for him. By the way, what the hell are you training for right now?
Well, I'm just more doing like a, what do we call it? Rock strength now, like a bodybuilding type of plan.
That's dope, dude. Have you seen how well our memberships are going now?
Yeah. We've really dialed it in as far as like being able to describe what you're actually getting. And we've had a lot better, I guess, a lot less turnover, because a lot of times people go in, we didn't have it spelled out correctly, and they're like, I didn't know what I was getting into. But there's been few and far between on those emails.
Dude, it's dope.
A lot better.
I'm so excited. Because really, like, in reality, like, you obviously want to have a successful business, but not for necessarily just the sake of the money. You're just like, I wish more people could experience this. Like, there's all these people out there
company to be able to train for what they want to. We just got to show them what we provide. And then they'll realize how great it is. It was just the description and being able to present the presentation, I guess, was on like a B+ average, and now we're at like an A-, you know, as far as like being able to do the presentation for them.
Yeah, dude. You know what's awesome? There's this guy. This stuff gets me fucking so excited. I created these products because I was like, I absolutely just love seeing, like, I love seeing the results. This dude who's been friends with me since Spartan Race days, you know, he always just like likes to get involved with what we're doing. And I was like, dude, you know, you're older now. Take Strength X2. He goes, I never take that kind of stuff. The dude's bench is now at 335, his squat's 405, and his deadlift's 465.
Damn, son.
he's literally destroying numbers, destroying them. And he loves sending me these things all the time. Like he's a dude in his 40s and he's absolutely wrecking it. And then that girl Nicole that we posted on our Instagram the other day, she PR'd her squat. And you're just like, damn. Like I absolutely love the feeling of when people actually get pumped and get the results from these things. Like George used to be a soy boy and he's been on Strength X2 for a while now. And his body's so pumped and sexy.
People that know me know I'm a big hater of soy products. So that's, you might call me that as a slur, but I'd never take any soy. Actually, every time I'm in the Starbucks line or Pret line or coffee line and someone orders a soy-based product in front of me, I actually tell them about it. Like, you do know that's like messing with your estrogen, testosterone levels, especially if they're like a pretty good-looking dude I'm trying to talk to.
Two things I want to talk about. One, let's make a bet. Do you guys think Alex is going to get here on time?
No.
Because Alex shows up 50% of the time late. Now, Alex
he may have not slept last night. That's probably more likely, and then he's probably sitting in traffic right now.
Yeah. Alex and I have worked together for a year and a half. Alex has known where I lived for over a year and a half, and Alex shows up late 50% of the time. So much so that Alex used to fall asleep in his car on the side of the road sometimes because Alex is partially a vampire. That's why he's so pale. He's up in the middle of the night trying to beat random people on step count workouts.
Yeah.
Or
in the middle of a hurricane or whatever tropical storm, he was out doing steps and his Garmin died mid workout, mid step. It's like, I guess I got to go back.
Alex goes hard though. I respect him. Like
I respect him.
He's there.
Yeah. He's always there. He's always got a great attitude.
I mean, you probably can't see this weather behind me, but like,
it's insane.
Is it raining?
That ain't California, bro. Like,
Dude.
No.
I'm so fucking over California's weather. So crazy. Like, I just can't trust the world anymore. Like, anybody who thinks that the news is telling you the truth, like, guys, it's a cartoon. It is a cartoon. And the people who are on the television, they may seem like real people, but they're cartoon people. Like, the information that you get fed is changing so often and is so manipulated that I have such a hard time trusting anything.
Like what? Tell some conspiracy
You need to
theories.
realize that it's a network that's striving for viewership. You think they're going to put out baseline headline stories? They're putting out headlines to like sink you in, to hook you in, regardless of the story. That they're trying to gain more viewership than the other networks.
Yeah.
So they're going to put stories out there that make you watch that network over the others.
No, but it's just like 5 years ago, they're like, we're in a drought. California is going to die. And then all of a sudden now it's like, we're in the most rain that's ever been. By the way, last year, they said that we were going to have so little rain. We had a record-breaking snowstorm and record-breaking amount of rain. It's like they don't know anything or they don't care to share what they know.
Yeah.
And I don't really understand what they're trying to accomplish. But this week is supposedly the biggest rainstorm in history. A week ago, it was the other biggest rainstorm in history. A month ago, they're like, it's the first hurricane that's ever hit California. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what do you guys really aim to accomplish here with all of this random information? And yeah, I get it. It's wet outside, but is it the biggest rainstorm that's ever hit California? No. If you watch the news, yes. My mom calls me all the time. She's like, are you dead? Are you dying? Hunter, I'm so worried about you. Please come back to the East Coast. And I'm like, what is going on? What are you watching, Mom?
That's just moms in general. All moms are like that.
I know, dude. Jay Sizzle says right here, what happened to the two girls you had on your show? Did you realize the two aren't intellectual enough to have deep conversations with on various topics? No, there's two ways to answer that question. One, they're girls. They're impossible to pin down and actually get to follow through on something. Two, they're girls. It's what I said. Go back to subject A. We've tried with him. One of them's 23 and she's dating like 70 guys, and the other one is 29 and she's doing like midlife crisis stuff. You know, both of them are amazing girls. I still love them with all my heart, and I think they're gonna be great for the show.
Hey,
they're
Dina's still
supposed-
here.
Yeah, Dina, what's up, girl?
What's up?
Yeet!
What's up?
Love you, Dina. I think if I could, I think they're coming on at some point in time this week, and we're going to talk about red flags and green flags in relationships. George, now that we have you real quick, what would you say the 3 biggest red flags in chicks are?
3 biggest red flags. Ooh. Like when you let's have a look here. Just when you're getting to know somebody, you've been dating maybe like a couple of weeks, and you tell them that like you're going to be out of town for a week, maybe you're going on vacation, maybe you're catching up with stuff, and they kind of say like, oh, who are you going with? And you tell them once, maybe you tell them twice. They're just sort of like trying to check your story, see if it collaborates.
Oh, yeah.
That's a red flag, because they're kind of just pumping you for information because they want to know where they are. It's just too early to even actually know. That's one red flag.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
You know, you can't just like, we've been dating 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you know, that's none of your business if I'm disappearing for a week. If it's like you're married or you're in a relationship for a year with someone, then obviously you're like, I'm going to go to my brother's house for a week, or I'm going in the woods with some friends, or we're camping, whatever it is, that's fine. But then the second thing is when they're constantly the first to check the stories. Oh, that gives me the ick.
You really you've got some emotional scarring about people that watch you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Third red flag.
Yeah, come on.
They'll all come to me after, like, damn, I should have said this and should have said that.
All right, I'll list a couple.
Okay.
But we're gonna put this in the list.
Inspire.
1
Go.
is single girls with dogs. 2,
Oh yeah.
huge red flag.
Major, huge red flag.
Psychological disorders. Single girls with Snapchat. Like if you have Snapchat is either for children or girls that are sending nudes that they want to fade to all of their supposed friends, just friends. And time burglars. Like people that literally if you don't give them like the attention that they want to have, they like steal the day. They'll disappear for the day. They're like, oh hey, sorry, just reading this. Those people drive me fucking nuts. They'll just like steal the time away from the day. Like, oh, been real busy. Everybody knows. Like, where's your phone? Everybody reach.
Yeah.
It's on your hip.
Everybody has this. If someone
You get a
doesn't
message
answer
that says
you,
it's been delivered.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you don't see it.
if someone doesn't answer you, it's because they don't want to talk to you. They're not.
Dude,
busy.
look who it is. Look who just walked in.
Alex made it. Oh my god.
Hey,
Alex,
Liter of Red Bull in hand.
Alex looks like an abominable snowman.
Dude, this is
What's
the
up?
biggest can of Red Bull I've ever seen. This is bigger than my head.
That'll give you a erectile dysfunction.
Oh my
there's
god.
a-
You okay, bro? Tired. Okay.
We're gonna get
Those
into
are the
it.
red flags.
The girls have all these opinions about how like guys are bad, and I have all these opinions about girls are bad. And if we could just meet in one room and hash it out, I think the whole world would be so much happier.
This is
got a
a
lot of
meeting
stuff
of
to
Yeah.
the minds.
Yeah.
A girl, if she's only got like all girlfriends and then she only gets advice from all girlfriends, huge red flag because it's not balanced.
Well, I think it's all if you meet a girl that's only got guy friends,
Oh, obviously, huge red
They
flag as
can't-
well.
if they can't be with their own kind, I'm like,
Yeah.
why did you get kicked out by your own kind?
Because the
Why?
You
excuse
got made to leave the pack.
girls
Yeah,
cause
wait
too
a
much
second.
drama.
Yeah, because like if you notice, we hung out with dudes all week long, and girls will like drop in and say what's up, but they're not in the pack. Like we had a sauna session yesterday, and there was 2 girls there, and we like said a couple words to them, but then after that, we are like, you're not part of the pack. You don't know what you're
Okay.
talking about.
Yeah.
Oh wait, here
Agreed.
we go, James. A red flag is a girl who goes to a yoga retreat. They're usually just out of something bad. Oh, you mean like they're crazy? Yeah, anybody goes to a
Like
yoga
they're
retreat.
headed to a yoga retreat because something shitty or crazy happened in their life, and they're like, I just need to buzz out. I'm going to an all exclusive, like in the woods, no talking, no cell phones.
Oh
Guys,
my god, I love that
yoga
shit.
is the biggest, craziest scam in the world, right? Most people around the world are taking 45-minute hour yoga classes in basement studios, paying $200 a month a pop for it, and they're learning from someone that just qualified in Bali 2 weeks ago, trying to get their zen back while they're wearing $300 leggings and vests. And it's like, are you okay?
I'm not gonna lie,
You know,
I was
like-
dating a yoga instructor not too long ago, and she had it.
She had
the
it. She had the
powers.
zen. She had the
She had
powers.
the powers.
You got to be in it for a while, though. You can't just get like lessons from someone about life who just all of a sudden has been in Bali for 3 weeks and they're got they're living on daddy's bank account to do their course, and then they're like trying to give you life coaching, and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, is Bali life really hard for you on $15 a day? Is there too many clouds in the sky? Oh, is your rent $300 a month? Like, what do you have to do today? Do you have to get on a boat trip and then like journal? Like, fuck, I'm from a generation where all I've had is mindfulness. I've stared at condensation drip for an hour waiting for a bus. That's mindfulness. Everyone else is like, oh, I'm on my phone too much. I can't get away from all the technology. It's like, put it down, go for a run, lift some weights, stretch, call it whatever you want. But yogis are like, they're from a different planet.
Isn't a yoga certification like 15 grand? Like to be officially certified?
No. It's basically butchered from India. So you have like original Indian yogis, and it takes years, right? Because you're looking for spiritual enlightenment, physical enlightenment. But who wants to go to India on a mountain for 5 years? It's like, no, let's fast track this. Let's get the qualification in 2 weeks. Get your Lululemon leggings. Get your Starbucks order with like 9 words in it. And let's do.
Dude, we should have our own man barbarian certification. Kind of like a Genghis Khan kind of thing. Just teach people how to ride horses, bareback, shoot bows, punch people,
fight bears,
live in the woods.
That's what we were gonna do when you were gonna buy that house in the middle of the mountains with all that land. But
I'm
the woman,
I'm still gonna buy that house.
Nope. Yeah.
You guys give me 6 months. Daddy's gonna own it. What the hell was I gonna say? I like this guy right here. Danny says, oh no, Ben Ellis goes, a red flag is a girl who has a dad who's bald. I want to know more about that, Ben. And please make sure you show up for Thursday. Make sure you show up for Thursday's show because this is important. This is really important. There are rare unicorns of
with Danny, the fake tan, the fake eyelashes, the extensions, the hair extensions.
Dude, go to Manchester. That was the dirtiest group of women I've ever seen in my entire life. We went out in Manchester the night after doubles. It was insane. I have never met this was like Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome, like raw and wild. These people savages. And I was sitting there just like I was flabbergasted. That reminds me, we need to buy Mass Gainer. Put in the notes. Okay, so
do you think we should balance it out with the red flags for men as well, for females? Because there's a bunch of those as well, right?
All right. Well, I'll try to say my red flags for guys. Right. I think real estate agents. Male real estate agents, run the fuck away. I would say
drinking energy drinks before 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Can of Monster before noon. It's the second one.
Yeah.
Dylan, I hope you're watching this.
I would say this is tough. Like I don't know how to categorize it.
If you have a gaming console and you live on Xbox all day and you're playing,
I think that's kind of healthy, dude. It's like in reality, man. Like I think people should play more often. It's like go participate and go play more often. People get too serious all the time. I actually am trying to play video games with my brother. So I can have like more of a play feature in my life. Like
but you need to balance it the other way. The rest of the time you're throwing down. I'm talking about guys that only play video games. Like we played Pack-a-Sack yesterday for like 20 minutes, and we were all kind of sweating and like taking off our shirts and like we're on a rest day. Exactly, that's fun.
Yeah.
But that's what guys need to do. Guys need to get outside and just do simple tasks, not like stay in a dark, dim lit room watching
I
video
would
games,
say
watching porn.
male influencers are probably the most dangerous of all human beings.
Yeah.
Yeah, male influencers are terrible. That's why like there's just a handful of brands that I will not associate myself with because of the male influencers that are involved.
Can you list these brands?
10,000. Anybody I see wearing 10,000, I'm like, we should put you on a boat and sink it. And
I
I'm
don't
like,
know.
hey
What's this
guys,
brand? I don't know.
I paid for this whole cruise. You all get to go for free. You're going to the Bahamas, and then I sink the fucker. Okay. The ketone brand, come on, guys. Like when you see all these dudes like hey guys, I just did the greatest workout of my life, and you're not gonna believe how I got it. It's a jar full of fat. And I'm so adapted, and like, like I've never felt this way before. Like you've never felt this way before because you've never had money in your bank account before. These people paid you to say this. You broke piece of shit.
Oh,
Another lady in the house. Danielle saying a big red flag is High Rocks men.
You're on our
Danielle,
channel
who hurt you?
watching, dude. Yeah, come on, Danielle. She's just upset because I probably didn't take her on a date. Yeah, dude. Jealous as all hell, dude. Jealous of my fucking good looks and my really moderately fast fitness racing time. What was I gonna say? Okay, what's another really bad influencer brand? Ooh, Ice Barrel. I actually like Ice Barrel, but it's just like at the same time, like they've always been really grateful to me. But anybody who's just promoting taking ice baths and saunas all the time, it's like get a life. Get a life. It's not that big of a deal. Those people that are just influencing that stuff all the time cannot keep on taking videos of themselves going in and out of saunas. Like I even caught on to it. Like we go into the sauna and the ice bath all the time, but we're not filming it all the time because I just recognized I was like, I look like an idiot. So male influencers, yeah, that's dangerous as all hell. And men who drive Teslas, I think they tuck their dick between their legs.
There is that Family Guy episode about male driver Teslas. Just go search it. Just go search it.
Teslas are
Check it
such
out.
pussy cars. Oh
Yeah.
God. I think my brother actually might buy a Tesla. I'm gonna throw up. I can't talk about it, guys. George, I want to ask you some more stuff. Like, what have you recognized, like when you were in your 20s and 30s, like supplements wise, what were you taking? And is there anything that you're taking now differently? And this is definitely a plug for Shilajit, and it's not because we're promoting it. It's because like you won't shut up about it. But tell me.
So when I was 20, the first supplement I ever took was creatine and like protein, not mass gain, just like a protein shake.
Shut
But
your
it
mouth
wasn't.
when you talk about
It was
mass gain.
whey. It was just like whey protein. And then I went away from supplements for a long time, just because I live in Spain and you don't really kind of need it as much because there's such big meat eaters in Spain and you get sunshine 300 days a year.
Yeah.
Then when I moved back to UK in 30, I started taking vitamin D, D3. I take double the amount that's recommended. I know vitamin D is like fat soluble and you can store it, but literally I'm getting 25 days of sunshine. I work in a basement and I've had my vitamin D levels checked and they're always, below normal levels in winter. So I kind of know the amount to take. Back on creatine, right now I take X2, which is incredible. Tell everybody about it. I'm not just saying that because it's my friend's brand, but citrulline is an unsung hero. Gives you a huge pump. Helps you get through the last few reps, makes it a little easier. So magnesium for sleep. I've discovered that certain types of magnesium work better for sleep and kind of just less brain fog. That works really well. Like L-threonate is really good. Oxide and I think glycerol, they're not so good for me, but again, I sort of play around with it. I don't take much pre-workout, but when I do, I will get sort of at least like 300 milligrams of caffeine if it's before a weight sesh. If I'm running, it's less. I don't like to run with too much caffeine in my system. That fucks me up. And yeah, the Shilajit that we've been taking, I've been experimenting with a bunch of brands online. that I'm not really sure what I'm getting. I'm just testing it and kind of seeing how I feel. But I'm searching for like what's the word? Trustworthy brands. I'm going through as much research as I can, and I have noticed, yeah, a lot more like steady energy throughout the day. There's no dip. Also, you get huge boners, guys, which is pretty awesome.
Dude, I had an erection.
Shout out to my
I had
girlfriend Lisa.
I had an erection for literally like 2 hours this morning, and I was like, I want to stay asleep, but the erection was a tower, just a tower, and
wakes
would
you up.
not let me go back to sleep. I couldn't roll over.
And that's the first sign of health for a guy. Any guy that's listening to this, if you're like unsure whether you're like in good shape or you're healthy and your body is kind of good to go, if you don't get an erection in the morning, that's a problem. It's like the first sign of male like vitality, because your body's essentially saying, I'm good to go here. I can make another one for me, which is great. That's a great sign. You know, you start the day with some wood. You don't have to get rid of it. You just let it go away. You don't want to knock it out every day. Just turn into a soy boy.
Boy.
But
Ask Alex if
soy
he
boy.
woke up with an erection this morning after all those steps yesterday.
Did you wake
Ask
up
him
with
if
an
he actually
erection
went to
this
bed.
morning?
I didn't sleep, man.
He didn't sleep.
There we
Why did he-
go. There
what did
we
He's
you
go.
been
do?
walking. I think he
What time
walked
did
it.
you? What time did he finish? Ask Alex when he finished walking.
What time did you finish walking?
Well, I just walked till midnight, so I was trying to beat Katie. I bet her $1.
Yeah.
That
He
if I
walked till.
didn't measure-
I don't know if you heard that. He walked till midnight. He was trying to catch this other girl,
And then
Katie.
And you never went to sleep?
Beat it by 1,000.
You slept a little bit, surely.
No sleep, no data. I didn't sleep.
Well, what did you do? You walked all night, or you just laid
I
down?
laid in bed, but I had to wake up at 4 to get here. So
So Alex slept like an hour, basically.
Sick, dude.
Mm.
Sick.
But he won. He won the challenge.
yeah,
Yeah, he won. Beat it by 1,000 as well. That's first thing.
Fucking disgusting.
Mm.
I don't know why you did that to yourself. So you like Shilajit? Is there anything else you take? Like you don't need to take Viagra. Like, do you have to take anything
Blue
for your
Chew
hemorrhoids?
hymns.
No,
Yeah.
I don't mess with any of that stuff. No, the Shilajit is foul tasting. It's pretty gross, but yeah, more steady energy. When I got here, you can ask anybody. I was a 12-hour flight from London. We were like straight into like solid workouts the next day. I didn't sort of bat an eyelid. I was yawning at the table and went out for dinner. You know, I was just straight into it. I think a large part of that is Shilajit.
So that
Shilajit?
Shilajit is
Shout out
an
guys
energy
to
type supplement, right? To help with
No.
just overall boost of energy.
It's a mineral supplement that basically, from what I understand, it enhances your body's ability to absorb iron. Iron enriches your body's ability to carry oxygen. So like you hear about people get anemic and things like that. So like
Okay.
you can be super depleted, you can be neutral, like right in the middle, or you can be enhanced, which we're
Yep.
talking about.
Okay.
And I was reading this earlier, and this is like, this is your body's hemoglobin ability to carry oxygen. Like I read this earlier, but I can say this again just to be nerdy with you guys.
Mm.
It's a picture of penises.
Yeah, that
Nerdy. Let me get it
They're
right
nerds.
What's up, nerds? Okay, here we go. Having a normal hemoglobin value is primarily a matter of good nutrition and consumption of food that have iron in them. Remember what I was referencing? A typical
Mhm.
normal of hemoglobin values are between 12 and 18 grams per deciliter of blood, depending on your age and gender. People are often considered anemic when they have hemoglobin values below 13.5 in men and 12 below in women. And for a running performance, a point of view, the difference between 12 and 13 in hemoglobin can be up to 30 to 40 seconds in a 5K run. So not only is your body's ability, like when I'm talking about these fucking ball to the wall efforts in my training, which gives you the balls to the wall efforts in your racing, this makes a difference. If your body's ability to use oxygen properly with the red blood cells that are carrying oxygen, it can definitely make a difference. And it's just like the same reason why if your vitamin D is deficient, your hormones are down, your body's ability to produce, have a stronger immune system's down. Like just certain things, almost like oil in a car being deficient, can affect the performance of it. And you don't want that. And, that's also the reason why, my boners are so viciously strong.
Also,
So-
electrolytes. You got to stay Stay on the
yeah.
electrolytes.
Speaking of electrolytes, guess what? Inventory just got back to the warehouse via Friday, and then I don't know. We got to check to make sure, but it is a national holiday here in the States, President's Day. So if the workers aren't working today, everything I got 126 orders awaiting process. So there hasn't been an update. So I'm going to say they're off today because it's national holiday. So those 126 will be pushed tomorrow by 12 Eastern.
Okay, so guys, we're gonna hit rapid fire. Rapid fire. You guys ready for this? George, this is between you and I. Ryan, jump in if you feel like you got something. If you could be one weight tomorrow for High Rocks, what would it be?
One weight,
Yeah, one weight. Your body weight.
85 kilos.
Okay, yeah, me too. 192. Weekly mileage during High Rock season.
During the season, 25 miles.
25 miles. I would say 50. 40 to 50. Ooh, when did you really start to train, and did you always have this mindset?
16.
Mine was 27.
19, 20. How do you afford to live in Malibu, George?
I don't. I scrimp with my friend. He's scrimping off his
Nice.
friend. He's scrimping off his friend.
Yep, scramping.
Shrimp.
I want to gain muscle and perform better at High Rocks. Can both goals be achievable? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, totally, dude. Don't be a puss. Gloves being worn during workouts, yay or nay?
Not running.
Not running. Yeah. I would say yes. It just depends. Like, you want to build up stronger hands, but do not put yourself in a compromised position where you wreck your hands, because that's the dumb thing to do. Okay.
Mullet or faux hawk?
Ooh.
Or
Mullet.
faux hawk mullet? A
Mullet.
faux hawk mullet.
A frullet.
Guys, what do you think about this book?
Oh,
Calendar of
sick,
Mullets?
sick,
Do you want to check
sick.
out? January is pretty strong. But February, guys, if you're watching this, February is lit. This guy in this mobility chair.
Oh, dude.
Wow.
That dude knows how to
Okay.
fuck.
Yeah.
What would you do during the rowing situation in Vienna?
What would I have done personally?
Yeah,
Was it the second cock up or was it the first?
second.
Was the third.
Yeah, I'd have bounced.
I probably
What
would
was the first
WWE.
mess up for that race?
They were sending athletes the wrong way after the skier.
Oh yeah, right after the skiing. Yeah.
I would have WWE'd some people. I would like reached into the fans and dragged them and slammed them in. The judges slammed them. It would have been bad. Is it possible to train for High Rocks without training 2 times a day?
Yes, 100%.
Totally, dude. Heberg, totally.
I train once a day, and then I use camps or training intensification stages to maybe hit a couple of sessions a week when I'm training twice a day.
Yep. What are new metrics that you're measuring that make the largest impact?
Resting heart rate in the morning. Looking at HRV. If I feel fatigued, that's kind of useful metric for me to see if I'm like fatigued or not, or if I'm like reactive. That helps. And then strength, like my 3 rep max. That's useful. Kind of sees where I'm like I'm hitting like 90%. And then tempo runs. Like again, heart rate. If it dips down to the same heart rate in between the intervals, that's a real useful metric. If you're not like recovering at all, then maybe you're overtrained or you're not getting faster. But if you're kind of recovering, then you can hit the same output again. You're gold.
Faber Dash, you shut your fucking mouth when you're talking to me. Sorry. I would say bar speed is something I've noticed. Like something like the Vitruvian, I think is so cool. It's like weight moved is not necessarily weight moved under speed. So if you do 100 reps
true.
versus 100 reps that are like ghetto versus 100 reps that are like powerful and sustainable, like power output's something I started to really look at, because I was like, wait a second. I'm not necessarily generating more energy. I'm just grinding. So like obviously like when I've recognized is like I have to cover 1,000 meters, like in a skier, or do a sled push in this amount of time, I need to cover the distance faster. And I've always done like more volume. I was like, no, I want to find out a way to generate more power per movement. So if I bend my knees and I stand back up, how can I be as powerful as possible? You racing Doha to prepare for Worlds? What the fuck's Doha?
It's in Dubai. Or
Does
it's in
Doha have a
Qatar.
race now?
Yeah.
Those people would have to pay me $1 billion to go there. One, it's on the other side of the world. Two, they have billions of dollars. Three, after I got fucked at the government games, I will never spend time with those guys again.
Anybody
They're athletic.
from that area of the world, if you want to find a way of coming up that $1 billion, I'll take 10%. Like convince Hunter. Okay, good deal.
Yeah,
Let's do this.
deal. Have you brushed your teeth today? No.
No.
Yes.
No.
Oh. Noel always has the most up-to-date stats when we are doing these races and everything for live stream. So, it's
No.
a prize pool, but split between how many people?
No, I just want to give everybody an update, and you guys could do this on a shoestring budget. Whatever, dude. Doha, I don't care. It's the same place. This is how much it costs to get to one of these places, by the way. So let's just say you're spending a minimum of $3,000 on tickets to get there. Okay. Then also, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to see it, does it make a sound? So now I have to bring my camera team with me, an extra $1,000 to $1,500. So we're at $4,500. Now you're thinking about getting out there and setting us up in a hotel. I can't sleep with Alex because he's a fucking beast of a man. He should be kept in a cage. He snores. He's disgusting. He steals my clothes. So I have to get Alex his own hotel room. So we're doubling the hotel room fees. If you look at that at the end of the day, every single time I go to a High Rocks, I lose money. Even at World Championships, I lost money. Everybody was out there. Ryan was out there. I was out there. Camera team was out there. You can't make money doing High Rocks, so I'm especially not going to the fucking desert to go do a High Rocks. I'd rather put a gun in my mouth. Okay.
What else?
I'm trying to get through this stuff. Some of these questions are so dumb. Are you natural?
Yes.
No. Pets for life, yo. Team Pets.
Yeah, dude. Peds are fucking dope. So many people contact me and ask me if I'm on dope these days.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. When are you trying to crack 52 minutes in the High Rocks, George?
When am I going to do 52 minutes?
Yeah.
Probably 2025. Could just take off the last station and run.
Okay, I like this. I like
Just
this.
take the time penalty.
No, realistically, I think I'm probably at 65. I think like maybe 64 if it just flows together. I think I can put down somewhere around there.
What do you think the peak athletic male age for a man is?
44.
You think so?
44. Yeah.
Are you saying that because you want to be in shape at the age of 44, or you think this is good?
That's right. I would say it varies for everybody, but between 35 and 42, kind of around there.
For males, what about females?
Probably between 28 and 35. 28 and 33.
Nicholas Hoyer's here. That's my boy.
Yo, Nick.
I would say I think probably between the ages of like 36 and 38, because I've been getting stronger every single year, and I'm just the fastest I've ever really been. It's like if you just prevent yourself from getting hurt.
I don't actually believe in the aging process that everyone else really buys into. Like 35 to 40, if you keep yourself like tight and just dialed in, then there's not going to be any drop off. In fact, it'll be like large improvements if you get your shit together. But let's just talk about general population. You know, I can find a 20-year-old looks terrible, but he's still training a lot. It just depends what your focus is and, you know, whatever else you're doing. But age definitely is just a number. It's all about the woman you're feeling, and the barbell you're moving. You know, so I think it's different for everybody. But yeah, there's no reason why you can't be just an absolute stud into your late 40s. And I think with supplementation and technology and just the information we have and applied data, not just data. It's no good knowing that you've got terrible sleep. What are you going to do about it? It's no good knowing you have terrible bar path speed. How are you going to fix it? So applied data is king. You know, general data you're looking at and paying $200 a month for is useless. So if you can zero in on some real good metrics, then you won't lose performance at all. In fact, you'll improve.
Yeah. James, you'll still go broke going to that race, making $7,000. You go broke. It's so little money that it's not worth it to go into the seventh dimension of the desert.
I think the rain is affecting the Starlink satellite hookup. You feeling that? A little bit.
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't understand what George's camera is a little fuzzy, but Hunter's still is pretty clear. But you guys are on the same internet.
My roommate Brock, who I'm not gonna say is a structural engineer, took the satellite and just put it down on the ground to get dumped on. And I was like, "Are you sure that's good?" He's like, "Yeah." And
I think the Starlink is just outside in the rain.
Yeah, I think the dogs are probably shitting and pissing on it right now.
You're supposed to like mount it on the house?
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't
with
think
1,500 feet up in the sky, the satellite is out in the rain. It's a miracle that we're like connected.
What's the worst injury you've ever had?
Probably this one, the calf. It was linked to a lower back nerve impingement. It's just kind of like the pathology of it changes, and it took me a while to understand it. Just so, if you're a professional athlete, you're going to get an MRI scan immediately and figure it out. I was kind of just brazen enough to be like, oh, I just need some rest, and then I'll reload it. It was like, yeah, I just didn't understand it enough until I got various opinions from physios, and then I was like, right, okay, I now know that the rate of force I produce in each calf is the overall rate of force is the same, but the speed at which I get there is different from my left calf to my right because it was injured, there's scar tissue buildup. So I just have to do a whole bunch of plyometric work before, I have to get it to the same level so it can handle the impact, especially on road running. Like treadmill and better, less impact. Certain shoes affect it, carbon plates, all the rest of it. Too much volume will kill it. And I'm gonna have to make sure that my back is kind of equal. Like I can rotate equally both sides through like L4, L5, and my thoracic doesn't get too tight. So I know my body when it's like, okay, I feel fine. If I just load jump miles on top of it, it's just gonna blow up. So that's probably the worst injury. Football, minor MCL tear in my knee. That's it.
I'm just gonna crack it all up to you being a pussy. I bet you if we just put you through like a humongous mushroom ayahuasca trip, we could just get you to psychologically let go of the fact that you're so scared of your calf. Because a lot of people, these people get these phantom fears. Like
there's definitely an element of psychosomatic. Like you kind of you attach your attachment to your injury. Like who would you be if you didn't have any excuses? Like I'm not using it as an excuse. I've kind of let that part go. I'm just like I just want to enjoy training. I want to feel good about myself, and I don't want to deal with that bullshit. So I'm just being like, cautious, but like I'm coming out the other side of it. Like it's felt good all week. I've had no problems. I'm building volume. I'm getting faster. I'm getting stronger. Keep going, man. Just don't be stupid.
Dude, we're gonna get this thing done. We're gonna save you.
Yeah. It's definitely breakfast time.
It is breakfast time. I don't want you to. Here's what's gonna happen, guys. We're gonna go get ready to train. We want to train, but George knew that we were gonna train. Now George is gonna create 5 layers of discontinuing our ability to train because George has all of these things to do. Like he's gonna have to go sort
At least
his
I'm
purse
here.
out.
Shout out to
He's gonna
Cole.
have-
Cole, what are you doing,
yeah.
bro?
Cole makes no sense. Cole has Stockholm syndrome. And like it'd be like somebody breaking out of prison and then he's like free, and then all of a sudden like he just sits around for a bit and he's like, wait a second, maybe it's safer going back to jail. And then he just goes and puts his hands up and takes the cuffs and just allows himself to be taken back into the center of jail. It's like Shawshank Redemption. Like he finally makes it out, but no, crawls right back in.
Shout out to Shawshank.
Shawshank, we should watch that tonight. Last night's
Yeah.
movies were great, but we need a Prison Break movie tonight.
Yeah, we watched Roadhouse last night. Oh,
Oh,
my
so
the new
good.
one
days.
came out
So
March
good.
22.
good.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Dude, I don't
Yeah.
want to see that movie. That looks awful.
Yeah.
I kind of do. I like it.
I'm sure you do
But,
because just
then
like
again,
Conor
I like
McGregor.
terrible movies. I won't deny that. Like
Yeah,
I
that's
will
good.
watch
That's good.
movies.
I
I will
can't.
watch TV shows and seasons that get canceled after the first season. I think it's a friggin' amazing TV show.
I personally cannot deal with people taking storylines that are beautiful and then just throwing gasoline on it and burning it because they want $1. Like you just took the name Roadhouse, probably top 5 greatest action stories of all time, about a bouncer, like a handsome bouncer going into like a broken down bar and creating a business. And then all of a sudden you allow a producer to buy that and repurpose it with Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor, and you destroy a beautiful story.
Yeah,
It'd
there's
be
no
like
need.
all of a sudden, like you take Pocahontas and you're like, fuck, we need to make some more money off this. Let's get Megan Fox in here, show her tits, and get her freaking out. All right? And throw Machine Gun Kelly in there, put some shitty music in there. Like, it is the same exact thing.
I'd watch that.
I know. People will watch it because there's single cell organisms like you out there that'd be like, Megan Fox. Meg Fox. I need the boobies.
No.
I can't let people continue to fuck up our society continuously. Okay, guys, I need to boycott something. Have you seen the Star Wars no, not the Star Wars piece, the South Park
Relaunched
piece?
in a minute, no?
I'm sure they're fucking it up.
Star Wars.
Like what they did to Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones was awful.
They never
And-
remade Indiana Jones. They just made more Indiana Jones movies.
I know. But they took like something so beautiful. Like if you go look at the old Indiana Jones, it's incredible. The storytelling, the storytelling, just the art, the acting, everything. And now there's just awfulness.
So what do you
Such
think
bad-
about the revamp of Sylvester Stallone still being alive and doing another Rambo? Because he came back and did a few new Rambo movies.
I mean, they
where he's,
weren't
like,
as good
looking
as the
after his goddaughter
originals,
that's got,
but I still like them.
kidnapped.
Those are
Yeah.
good. Those only need machine guns. And they figured that out. They're like, more guns,
More guns.
Better.
It'll be good. It'll be
better. Yeah. The Cartman thing, he knows, dude. Put a chick in it and make it lame. That's exactly what's happened to movies these days. You're just like, what the fuck is going on?
I thought the line was put a chicken in and make it gay.
Yeah.
Is it not?
No,
have to check that.
no. It's just put a chick in it, make her gay, and then make it lame. I think it is. But
Okay.
it's just like,
Okay.
oh my
Well, they did that
god.
with the Oceans franchise. They came back, did a all female cast for Oceans. No,
Yeah,
I
and
never
I think
saw
it
that.
tanked. And then also the
think it did that well.
Ghostbusters with the chicks that
Ghostbusters, yeah,
tanked.
yeah.
Oh, dude, our
Hmm.
service sucks, dude. Why the fuck did we buy Starlink?
Well, it's just the weather, guys. Like it is a tropical storm out there.
Wow, that's the first time anybody's. You have no idea how many influencers I send our product to that never tag us. Soulless. All right, guys. Before this goes really bad, I'm just gonna shut this thing down because the service sucks. Bye. Love you guys.
I can still see you.
Bye.
Shut it down. All right. We'll see you, George.
He's gone. See you, bro.
All right. Bye, dude.